Another day that ends in Y, another cancellation for Libs of TikTok, surprise.
Wow, I'm shocked.
And of course, Pfizer plays the deny game, calls bullshit on gain-of-function research.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Project Veritas, anyone? I'm Jazz Berganza, and this is what's next. Hey, what's up, everyone? Jazz Berganza, what's next? Your daily. How you guys doing on this Saturday? Of course, this is the weekend edition. In other news, Libs of TikTok gets suspended again. Why? Because it's another day that ends in Y. And of course, Pfizer denies gain-of-function research, even though on a video they clearly stated that they are in favor of gain-of-function research. Anyway, let's take a look. This comes out of the post-millennial. First, Slack permanently suspends Libs of TikTok over violation of its acceptable use policy. Again, another cancellation. Why? Because it's Libs of TikTok and they just don't have anything better to do. In the early morning hours of Saturday, Babylon Bee CEO Seth Dillon reported that Libs of TikTok has been permanently suspended from Slack due to terms of service violation. Now, you got to be asking yourself, who the f is Slack? I didn't know until this thing popped up on my feed. Dillon said, if your business is defending kids, Slack doesn't want your money. The message from Slack notifying LOTT that the ban has been undertaken. We are writing to let you know that we have suspended your workspace, LOTT, for violations of our acceptable use policy. As highlighted in Slack's acceptable use policy, Slack may exercise its right to suspend or terminate your access. The policy states, if we believe a violation of policy is deliberate, repeated, or represents a credible risk of harm to use for others, yes, if you are not in favor of tranny madness, then we're going to have to do something. Our customers, a service or any third parties, may suspend or terminate your access. There's nothing in the terms of service that's being required to hold views that adhere to those of the company. Wink, wink. They want to say that they refunded most of the recent charge of $75 and are willing to hand over the data. LOTT is now being banned from viewing, despite it being the company's own work product, so long as Libs of TikTok asked for it. Salesforce, which purchased Slack in 2020, for a massive $27.7 billion. Okay, wow. Replied to Dillon's tweet saying, hello, Seth. Salesforce Slack team is looking into this issue. Yes, because of course they are. In a reply, users of Slack and Salesforce customers noted that the wokeness at the company has been a turnoff. Others noted that the Salesforce buyout of Slack has been enough for them to stop using the product altogether. Wow. Project Veritas revealed in 2021 that a Salesforce whistleblower that the company had planned to deplatform a broader range of users who say they had the, quote, potential to incite politically motivated violence. Yes, if you tell the truth about pedos and trannies, well, words are violent. Since the events of January 6th, well, because of course, I think one of the things that really impacts Salesforce is that the national conversation about the role of technology inciting the mob, disseminating misinformation, fomenting extremism, said Brett Taylor, Salesforce president and chief operating officer. Quote, we engage in RNC to communicate with no messages on behalf of President Trump and no messages questioning the validity or integrity of the election and allow our platform under guidelines that may incite violence. We're looking across our customer base to make sure our technology is not being used by businesses or platforms that incite political violence, because of course, the Democrats can never do that. Summer of 2020, anybody? You know, that summer of love, you know, that one mysterious death of St. George Kirby. Salesforce offered employers in Texas a chance to relocate out of state so they could get abortions after Texas banned the practice 6 weeks into pregnancy in 21. 22 after Indiana I think it was more like Indiana probably passed a similar law. Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff threatened to pull the company out of the Hoosier state altogether. We are dealing with a whole series of crazy presidents, crazy governors, crazy mayors all over the world, all over the country, and every city and state. The number one thing I can do is let my employees know I'm here for them, and I will 100% support them killing of their children. Yes, we're always in favor of that, aren't we? Libs of TikTok shares publicly available content from social media users that advocate for child sex changes, as well as those espouse leftist and progressive ideas on gender, sex, teaching, and medicine. Slack was reached for comment, but of course, they did not respond. We go from that to this. This coming out of Breitbart. Exclusive. Pfizer denies unethical gains of function research for COOF vaccines in letter to Representative Ronnie Jackson, even though on video they clearly stated they were in favor of gain of function research. Pfizer denied conducting a gain of function research for the coronavirus in a letter to Representative Ronnie Jackson of Texas. Breitbart News learned exclusively. Jackson, a physician and member of the subcommittee on COOF pandemic, sent a letter in January, which was exclusively obtained by Breitbart, Hannah Blue, demanding answers on Pfizer's gain-of-function research by intentionally mutating the Chinese COOF. Pfizer responded to Jackson on February 23rd with a letter signed by the vice president and CEO of vaccine research, which is obtained by Breitbart. In a letter, Pfizer strongly denies, yes, a strongly worded finger wag, denied that the company would engage in gain-of-function research. To be clear, we do not, nor ever would, engage in research or create adaptive viruses with the intention of making them more contagious or harmful to people. In ongoing development of Pfizer BioNTech COOF vaccine, Pfizer has not conducted gain-of-function research with SARS or any potential use in humans, laboratory animals to be used as a vaccine, they stated. Pfizer explained that with the new COOF variant emerges, Pfizer study changes in the spike protein to understand whether the company would need to update its vaccine. Explained. We do this by adapting the virus in a highly secure lab. The spike proteins match the newly identified circulating variants. This done to mimic viruses already circulating in nature. Type of work is scientific best practice is commonly conducted by other companies, institutions, public health authorities. It is necessary for both accessing and effectiveness the existing vaccines and new vaccine candidates targeting the current circulating variants. Also, regarding corona's oral treatment, Paxlovid, which of course has been a complete and utter failure, we have previously indicated that with isolate new viruses from these studies or adapt viruses with targeting changes in the main proteins and test to see whether the Paxlovid is still effective. All this work is done in highly secure laboratories because of course they all are, and we have not studied these adaptive COVID-19 viruses in animals. The claim prompted Jackson's inquiry came from a Project Veritas video in which Jordan Tristan Walker, Pfizer's Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, mRNA, Scientific Planner, stated that the company was engaged in what described as direct evolution. Yes, if you haven't seen the entire Sting video, it is magnificent. And the former CEO, James O'Keefe, does one hell of a job. Quote, if true, this is unbelievable, unethical, and concerning to imagine Pfizer will prioritize its profits over the safety of the American public by conducting such gain-of-function research and endangering the lives of the very people you propose to help, Jackson wrote in his letter to Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla. That's him. Breitbart News has not received the comment from Jackson as a press time. The Pfizer executive concluded in his letter to Jackson, Pfizer is dedicated to conducting the research with ethical and a responsible manner. We have unwavering commitment to keep high standards of safety, quality, and compliance at the forefront of all we do, even if it means killing millions.
There. Is this seat taken? You work for Pfizer. My question for you is, why does Pfizer want to hide from the public the fact that they're mutating the COVID viruses?
Is this real life? I'm literally a liar. I was trying to impress a person on a date by lying. This is absurd.
Please don't touch me. Well, this is not. By the way,
Why are you doing
don't
this?
tell anybody.
Someone who's just working at a company to literally help the public. You up. You really did. Please bring the cops as soon as possible. I'm really very unsafe.
Can you please unlock your door?
No, don't let them leave.
Please unlock the door.
What is going on
us our
here?
stuff. Please unlock. Please unlock the door. Please unlock the door. Unlock the door. We're trying to unlock the door. Unlock the door.
My thoughts. First, with Libs of TikTok, what a surprise, getting canceled again, because I think every time this happens to Libs, they take this as a badge of honor. And Slack, like I said, I never heard of these guys until this damn thing popped up on my feed. And but with those who are working for Slack and working for Salesforce have already come out and have slammed the wokeness and the trash that's going on inside their companies, well, no surprise there. But Libs of TikTok, continue to do what you do. when it comes to Pfizer basically denying gain-of-function research when they were clearly busted on a video by one of their ass clowns who went into an epic meltdown in front of James O'Keefe, citing this, that, and the other, and even calling James O'Keefe racist because of it. Well, that's all you needed to know. And like I said earlier, if you haven't seen the video, check it out because it is a masterpiece of leftist wokeism gone to shit. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.